देखिए, so on a camping tree, you stretch a rope between two trees and hang your backpack from the middle of it to keep it safe from bears. The mass of your backpack is 36 kg. तो ये जो नीचे वेट लगेगा, that will be 36 into 10 will be equal to 360 Newton. मैं acceleration due to gravity जो है, that is I'm assuming it to be 10 meter per second square. Miss Savantika, is it clear?
Yes.
And each half of the rope makes an angle 40 degree with the horizontal. So let's try to understand this. देखिए, weight आपका would be vertically down. These are the two halves. Two halves imply that the length of the rope on each side, is it making sense?
Yeah.
So basically what you have done is, this point is the middle of the rope. And then what is happening is that this angle and this angle, it is 40 degree. Is it making sense?
Yeah.
Now, what do we need to understand is that how is this, see, if we don't know anything, what we need to understand is that how the rope is able to balance this weight. Is it making sense?
Huh.
So this is how we come to this conclusion that there would be tension in the string, which will be pulling this rope on both sides. Is it making sense?
Yeah.
Now there are one or two things that you need to understand. One is this rope is massless. And then you might have a question that why both the tensions are same, why is it not T1 and T2? See, the problem is, let me do this question with TT and you'll understand. So the T makes this angle 40 degree. Is it making sense how this is 40 degree?
Yeah.
So the component of T in this direction would be T cos 40 degree. And the component on this side would be T cos 40 degree, and two components of 2 sine 40 degree would be in pointing in the upward direction. Is it making sense?
Yeah.
Now, if you look at this closely, and this is where our answer will lie, and this is what you need to understand. This T cos 40 degree and this T cos 40 degree, they cancel each other. And that is why there is no movement in this direction. In horizontal movement, there is no movement. Is it making sense?
Yeah.
Now, just for a moment, imagine that you would have drawn a figure like this, that this is T1, this is T2, this is T1 cos theta, and this is T2 cos theta. Is it making sense?
Yeah.
If T1 was not equal to T2, then there would be a movement either in this direction or in this direction. Is it making sense? Because there is a net force in either left or right. Is it making sense?
Yeah.
But because there is no movement of the bag in either this direction or this direction, so that is why this T1 should be equal to T2. Now is it making sense?
Yeah.
Similarly, there is no movement in either up direction or down direction. That is why these two components of tension, that is 2t sine 40, should balance the weight which is pulling down and which is equal to 360 Newton. This is what we calculated here. Is it making sense?
Yeah.
So tension would be equal to 360 divided by 2 sine 40. Is it making sense?
Yeah.
So the answer of this part, amount of weight, that is equal to 360 Newton. And magnitude of tension would be equal to, let me write it as 180 divided by sine 40. Is it making sense?
Yeah.
Now, see, don't worry about much about sine 40 because in our Indian board, this would be, usually they would write this as sine 45 degrees. So you know, because see in IB, they allow calculator, so they ask angles like 40 or 22 degree. So for example, they'll write 20 degree. But here we don't allow calculator, then so you won't have 40, you'll have 45 degree, but that doesn't make much of a difference. So the final answer would be T is equal to 180 root. Is it making sense or something?
Yeah.
So all I'm trying to tell you is because this is a IB question, so that is why they had taken an angle of 40 degree. But in CBSE, they'll usually give you an angle like 45 degree because they know you have done this in 9th and 10th class. In IB, they allow calculator. In CBSE, they don't allow calculator. Is it making sense?
Yeah.
And I think so. Yeah, that's it. So let's do the rest of the questions in the next lecture. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm closing the meeting.
Okay.